Alright, with the release of Aquaman 2, the DCEU is officially over. 16 different projects, the quality was all over the place, most of it was reviewed pretty badly, but there was some pretty good projects in there too, so let's go ahead and rank the top 5. Now, of course, this is my personal opinion. Your list is probably going to look a little bit different, but without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into mine. So in 5th place, I've got Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. This is a movie that I think is really underrated. I really liked it growing up. I've probably watched this movie maybe 10 times. I really enjoy it. The fight scenes are great. I really like the family dynamic of Clark and his parents and, hiding him from the world and all of that. And I just love Henry Cavill in the role of Superman. I think he was the absolute perfect Superman, but they just did him real dirty. The fact that this movie came out, I think almost like 10 years ago now, and we never got a Man of Steel 2 is absolutely criminal, but like I said, I really like this movie. In 4th place, I've got Blue Beetle. This was such a fun movie. The VFX were actually really good for a small budget, and I just love the character of Jaime Reyes. It's just super interesting, this young character in the DCEU. He's basically like their Spider-Man. I really like the whole vibe of this movie, like the comedy, the family aspect, and I really connected with the whole, immigrant backstory of Jaime, because my family is Portuguese, and everybody moved here from Portugal, so a lot of the stuff that was in this movie, I really connected with. And that just made me really like Blue Beetle a lot more than I think a lot of other people would. In 3rd place, I've got the first Wonder Woman movie. I really enjoyed this one. The action scenes, the romance, some of the comedy too, the World War aesthetic and vibe, it was just solid overall. And I really like Gal Gadot's performance in this movie. I know a lot of people have criticized her acting ability in other movies, but I think this movie she was pretty strong in. And I know the third act kind of falls apart, but overall, it's a really solid superhero movie. In 2nd place, I've got James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. This was a huge improvement from the previous one, and I hope someday we do get to see the Ayer cut and see what he actually wanted that movie to be, but regardless, I'm gonna, talk about this movie. I really like this one. The characters were all really good. I love Peacemaker. James Gunn is just such a great director for comic book properties, and I have a lot of faith in him to, just run the DCU from now on and make some great movies and a really cohesive story. But man, this movie came out during the pandemic. I had a great time watching it at home because I wasn't able to go to the theater to see it. It's just a really good, fun movie. King Shark, Sylvester Stallone, everyone was great in this movie. Starro, who would have thought that villain could have been in a modern superhero movie? Not me, but it was a great movie. Absolutely love this one. In 1st place, though, I've got to put Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut that everyone fought so hard for. This was years and years of people just begging for this movie to be made and come out. And it still kind of amazes me that it even was released, because obviously we know there was a lot of drama and all that, and just the fact that this movie was made just blows my mind. And, Black Suit Superman, Darkseid, Steppenwolf, where he actually looks good, because the theatrical cut, they butchered that design. Everything was just 10 times better than the theatrical version. I remember watching this movie when it came out, and I was just like, why did they cut that? Why was that removed? Why? All the time throughout watching this almost 4-hour movie, just comparing it to the theatrical cut and seeing how good this one was compared to that was just, what an experience. I really like the Snyder Cut. I know it's a little long and some people complain about that, and, I get it, but if it's peak superhero stuff, I don't mind. It's fine. There's a lot of rumors that the Snyderverse story can continue over at Netflix, whether that's live action or animated. Either one of those I'm fine with. I would like to see this continue alongside the DCU. They're already doing Elseworld stories and all that, so who cares? Just do a Zack Snyderverse, Elseworld timeline, and I think people will be totally fine with that. But the Snyder Cut is my personal favorite DCEU property that was ever released. I think it is just really, really good. But yeah, that is my ranking of the top 5 DCEU projects. I really enjoyed all 5 of those. Overall, I would say the DCEU was pretty mid. Like, it was decent, you know, some stuff was good, some stuff was bad, but a lot of it was just right in the middle. I've got a lot of faith in James Gunn to deliver an amazing DCU with Superman Legacy to kick it all off. And yeah, but looking back at the DCEU, it was a bit of a mess. It had some hidden gems here and there, but I think it's time for a proper DC universe helmed by one of the greatest comic book directors of all time. But that's it from me, guys. Let me know down below in the comments what your top 5 DCEU movies are.